Dominic Addy here with Stare Down TV in association with Stare Down Fighting. I'm here with Drago himself, Will Currie. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, good mate. Not too bad. A bit
Good,
tired, um, but yeah, feeling good.
good man. So obviously you're over in Stockholm at the minute. How long are you here for a weekend? Yeah,
I'm gonna be here for a week. Yeah,
nice
yeah.
man. So is it like? Tell us about what you're doing over there. Who you training with?
So I've been brought out to train with a guy called Hamzat Shemev. He's fighting October the 4th, Brave, Abu Dhabi. So I've been brought out to just spar and drill and train with him, and also just to learn as well what I can off the guy. So yeah, he's a monster, a very very good fighter. So yeah.
Well, mate,
Jimmy knows All Stars from his
yeah,
relationship with Alex, so he knows them all very very well. And yeah, they've been very welcoming, and they've invited me down, and I'll take what I can, get all the knowledge I can get, soak it up.
that's quality, mate. Is Jimmy there as well?
Yeah, I was just with him. We are just eating some food with Alex's coach Andreas. That had and his girl. We just had a pad thai. Couldn't quite finish it though, probably because of how hard the training is over here. Like it's different level of training out here in terms of like the intensity. It's like a bit of a reality check, to be honest, on
Yeah,
how hard you train if you want to get good at this. Like Hamza, he trains 4 times a day. I see the guy sprinting on a treadmill, um, getting off the treadmill, doing. Andreas is like screaming at him if he slacks even a little bit.
yeah,
It's like torture. It's like the Agogi from 300. It's like Sparta. Torture, but this is why he's such a good fighter. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because of training like that. I mean, this guy Hamza Chimev, a lot of people may not know who this guy is, but because he's not in the UFC, and your average fan just thinks that UFC is the only people that are good. But this guy would fucking destroy the majority of the UFC welterweight roster. Like,
Mate, Brave is no joke.
yeah.
I've been watching Brave fights. Brave FC is no joke. It's got some killers there.
Oh man, tell me about it. Tell
Mate,
me about it.
that's quality, man. So before we get into a little bit more about yourself, we'll get into your teammates at AFS. The main reason I wanted to have a chat with you, to be honest, mate, I could give you a call every week, and we always know that you've got something that you've been training because you always go to different places. You're always with the top talent. You're always at top fights. You're a fan as well as an athlete. But the one thing I really wanted to talk to you about was an Instagram story Saturday night after Kieran, Ghost, and Dennis fought at AFS. But I'll let you tell a little story because I don't know the full details, but it'd be good to hear your side fully.
Well, after the fight, I mean, Kieran won that fight on AFS. Like, I
I
know the
agree.
rules.
I
I
definitely
know,
agree.
I know the rules state. I guess that, and I knew that when I was cornering him, I was telling him to stand up because I know how it is in MMA. It doesn't matter if you're just lying on the guy. I mean, this is the reason why Ben Askren wasn't allowed into the UFC for such a long time, because his style is just AIDS. It's just boring. It's just shit. And you can maybe say I'm a grappler. I tap every guy I fight. The point I'm trying to make is you're not trying to pass guards. You're not trying to inflict damage. Like when you look at a fighter like Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, I like that. I like that BMF belt that they've got going on. You know, I mean, those guys are exciting people to watch. They get the crowd buzzing. They're violent. They're nasty guys when they're in that cage. Ben Askren, it's like a 15-minute hugging simulator. I mean, it's just bollocks. And the guy is a better wrestler. He's been wrestling since he was 8 years old. This guy, Kieran, started the sport 2 years ago. I mean, Kieran did a very very good, especially fighting a guy at featherweight, 66 kg, when Kieran's a natural bantamweight. He walks around at 66, like 60. He weighed in on the morning of the fight at 65.4 without even doing a weight cut. Like he was very very small for that fight. That kid was easily about 73, 72, and he got the takedown on Kieran, and he just lied in his guard. The odd occasion in the fight, maybe he got a good position, but didn't. The only damage Kieran took was a headbutt. Other than that, Kieran was trying. Like, don't get me wrong, there are definite things Kieran could have done better, but on the whole, we nearly finished him with a triangle in the first round, just like with Kadeem. Kadeem beat Kieran. if I was, this is not me trying to be biased. Kieran lost to Kadeem. It was a good fight, but I'd say the first round Kieran, 2 rounds Kadeem. This fight, the first 2 rounds were obviously Kieran. I mean, he was going for submissions, nearly catching them. In round 2, he took his back. You know, he got a takedown himself. I mean, they really need to sort out the judging because it just kills the sport. I mean, fans don't tune in to watch a guy just sit in someone's guard, not try and the reason why he wasn't trying to punch or ground and pound was because he knew if he ground and pounded, you're you know, at that skill level, your weight would go off balance and he'd probably get swept. So he just held in his guard and just, you know, it was just shit. But the way it is, it's a learning experience for Kieran, and he's going to come back a lot stronger. But look, we didn't lose that fight. So after that fight, I said to Kieran, look, we didn't lose that fight. Let's carry on and do what we were going to plan to do anyway, which was go to the Cuckoo Club. Like he's like a promoter at quite a lot of nightclubs. He's very good at his job, and he runs it very, very well. There's always a good night out. So I said, you know what, let's go to this place, and we did. We went out. We had a good time. And long story short, I'm just thinking if I want to reveal everything. It's a difficult one, mate. I'll tell you off the recorder on why. But long story short, I ended up going out, and as I was leaving the nightclub, I was going down a sort of alley staircase. It's just opposite St James's Park, and as I was crawling down, I was distracted by something. I'll tell you after this.
Yeah, sounds good.
And basically, I was distracted, and all of a sudden, some guy started like holding me and grabbing me, and I was thinking, what's going on? And at first, I sort of just sat down because I was drunk. I was absolutely smashed, and I was just like, what's going on? Then all of a sudden, they started going for the watch, and you know, I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna just flip the camera. You know, my hand's been absolutely clawed by these fucking peasants, like absolutely, like, you know, on my other hand as well. And they started going for my watch, and I've got a Rolex, which my dad got me, and yeah, they were going for the watch. They were clawing at my hand. They started all trying. It was 8 of them. They were all trying to punch me and kick me. It was like some Eastern European gang, and at first I was just holding on to the watch for dear life. And I'll be honest with you, at one point I was thinking, should I give it? Because I saw one of them was carrying a knife, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I don't want to die over a watch. But then I just ended up going Lion's Pride MMA mentality. Now fuck that. We'll just go out on a shield. And maybe it was the alcohol that got me a little bit confident. I don't know. But I started wrestling with a few of them, and I sort of broke away. I tried to make an escape. I got tripped up, smashed my shin on the concrete. Do you know what it's like having to spar a guy like Hamza Shamev 2 days after getting jumped by 8 guys? And you know, I've got a cut a little. Well, I had a deeper cut a few days ago, 2 days ago, but it's healed a little bit because I've got super healing powers. But I dropped on my shin, and then they all started going on for me again. I sort of break away again. And then as I broke away, right hand down the pipe, this other little midget came up. He's like some little small like fight, and I just smashed in Jimi Manuwa style left hook. And with the left hook, I went with the momentum of the left hook, and I just started sprinting down the steps. Like you know when you jump down the steps, like you feel ballsy if you go down like 2-3 steps at a time. Mate, I was like a gazelle. I was jumping down 7 steps at a time. Like I was literally leaping off the stairs. And then I went all the way down, and then I saw some cancer sort of march that was happening, and I just sort of joined in with them, and I started walking with them. You know, if you want to escape people's eyes, you find yourself a crowd, Assassin's Creed style. So I just started walking with this crowd until I got to Charing Cross, and I saw some police. And I went up to them and just explained the situation, and They were very nice to me, to be fair. I mean, I've always seen the police as always had an impression of the police as if they're not. They're bad people. They abuse their power. But these guys, they were very, very nice, very, very helpful. Really, really good to me. So they drove me back to the nightclub, reported the incident. I mean, yeah, it was good. I went round with them, showed them everything, what happened, just so it doesn't happen to some other guy. Do you know what I mean? You know.
Mm.
And yeah, it was that. Went home, and next day I'm going to Sweden to spar the savage Hamza Shemev. Solid.
Mate, that story is just incredible. Like you say, it is. How do I say this? That's sounding weird. I'm kind of glad it was you in the sense of you, Matt. You have the capability to defend yourself. Do you know what I mean? You don't
It
want to happen
shows
to
you,
anyone.
doesn't it? It
Yeah,
shows you what people don't realize the power of learning self defense. Done.
mm.
People don't realize the power. These guys, they couldn't throw a punch. So as I was distracted, and I was looking the other way. The distraction was caused by them, and as I was looking the other way, this guy hits me. But he doesn't hit me. If he hit me properly, I was out. I wasn't looking, and I was
Yeah,
drunk. But he hit me like this, like with the side of his wrist, and he had a bracelet on, which is the reason why a bracelet. Just not
yeah.
the reason why I got a little bit scraped. And if he had learned how to do a solid right hook, I'd have been unconscious. I'd have just whipped my watch off and fucked off. But he hit me like an absolute bitch. The rest of them were all like clawing at my hand. If a couple of them just went for like my arms and did basic like
Wrist control thing.
techniques, I
Yeah,
would have had no chance. But they've got no skill level whatsoever. They've never. I mean, it's crazy to me how people don't bother trying to learn any self defense. You fucking idiots. Do you have
yeah,
any idea how vulnerable you are? Like, I could literally do whatever I want to you. I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but regardless, when in human history has the right thing always happened? People were cunts, and they will abuse you if they get the opportunity. But they picked the wrong guy, and I definitely came out on top. But yeah, that shows that anyone watching this, if you've not got any form of self defense, or you're an idiot. You may not know it, but you really are an idiot, because if you're capable and you've got the physical body to do it, once a week is all you need. Just take 40 minutes or an hour to just learn a bit of technique, and if you're ever, because I never thought this would happen to me, and it did. So it can happen to anyone. And if you just take the opportunity, you just train for maybe an hour a week, that adds up to, and then next thing you know, you're going to be able. And also, you start realizing it's not all about, you know, meatheads trying to swing heavy. Like, actually, you got to feint, you got to slip. It starts becoming a bit fun. Start realizing how much of a Rubik's cube MMA is, how much chess is involved. And yeah, man, it shows you, because these guys were untrained. There was 8 of them, but they're all untrained, and they're all skinny little weak guys, and that's the reason why I was able to do it, because I've had training. I've been able to be trained by some absolute savages, and I've been blessed to have learned from the best, and I was able to utilize that knowledge that I've been given on these idiots. And these scumbags, they got it, man. They got it good.
and this is coming from somebody who's been open about, as you grew up, you were bullied and you were subject to that. And I saw something you reposted earlier on. I think your mum posted it on her story of a photo of you and I don't know how old, you must be like, what, 14, 15 there, maybe a little bit
Oh
younger.
man, I was 16. That was 4 years
Six,
ago.
that's what I mean. And like
That
from
was me
there
when
to
I
there,
started.
yeah. But you can even see, obviously, you're a lot skinnier than you put on size, but just your whole demeanor, everything about you from that photo to that photo, just shows it's never too late. And you ain't got to go to become one of the top UK prospects, but you
48
need to
laws
do
of
it.
power. Recreate yourself.
It's true,
Follow the
mate.
laws.
Mate, it's true, mate. I've been through it as well. I managed to lose 5 stone. It doesn't matter what your sort of journey is, but you gotta adapt and you gotta overcome things, and that's one thing that you learn. Like I said, you haven't got to be sort of one of the top middleweight prospects in the UK, UCMMA champion, but you enough to survive and enough to defend yourself. It goes a long fucking way, man.
Yeah, man, you said it right. It's not about being a professional fighter. Like, you don't even have to spar. I never said you had to spar. I said you just learn how to throw a jab. You learn how to throw a punch. That as the same thing to those muggers. Learn how to throw a punch, and you'd have had an easier job. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's incredible to me. I mean, like I see girls, they go out with these guys who I could literally like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like it's incredible. How are you going out with this guy? It's not about the fact that, you know, I'm a professional fighter and I spend all my time training fights and I can beat him. It's not about that. It's the fact that, you know, the guy literally can't do anything. Nothing. Zero. He can't throw a jab, he can't throw a punch. You know, if he's in a street fight against someone who's a bit game and you know, he's gonna get absolutely destroyed. And you're hanging out and you're going out with this guy, and he's supposed to, you know, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but you know, it's supposed to be men are supposed to be protecting, and you got guys who've never even learned how to throw a punch in their life, like mad.
Yeah, mate, it's true. But so in the outcome, was anyone caught, or is it just under investigation now? What's kind of like the next stages for this?
So the police went back to the nightclub. As I said, it, you know, it had something to do within the nightclub, not the nightclub's fault at all, but it started from the nightclub, and yeah, they'll do what they do, and I don't know if they'll catch them, but it's, you know, when you've got a sort of situation where, you know, it's getting reported that the police are getting upped up, like the knife rate, like as I said, one of them was carrying. If he was about to use it and I saw a knife put at my throat, then yeah, I'd have just taken the watch off and just you know, I'm not gonna. But you know, I saw the knife, but he wasn't using it, and I thought, right, well, he's not using it. They're not gonna try and kill me. They're just gonna try and beat me up and try and take it, but they couldn't do that. But if you know, the knife rate is extremely high right now in London. It's higher than it's ever been, and self defense is needed. You need self defense. But the police are going to be all around Piccadilly, and it's horrible to be fair. I didn't really like the area, to be honest. Like, of course, I love London. I'm from London, but you know, you got a lot of low lifes around Piccadilly. You know, a lot of those girls in those nightclubs, they're so fake. You know, they're just such like, you have to be, as my friend Victor Quicks, the striking Viking, said,
Yeah,
you have to be a rapper for them to even look at you. Do you know what I mean? But
that's coming from an Adonis of a man saying that.
listen, mate, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a bit messed because the thing is, back in the day, there wasn't any internet, so you had to just go out with whoever was around your area, so it was a lot easier. Now you're
Yeah,
competing with Steve from Manchester, you're competing with Adam from Liverpool, and these guys have got what more followers and they've got whatever, and that's the way it is now. It's all about followers. Sad, but that's the way it is now.
mate,
It's
it's
all that
true,
way now.
and it's
Love is truly dead now, Dom. You know.
yeah, mate, you got love for the game. That's all that
Oh,
matters.
mate, that's the thing. I don't give a shit. It's all
Yeah.
about MMA.
Well, I
It's all
remember you
about
saying.
MMA.
I remember your it was a clip you after your. I think it was your fight star fight. Yeah, it was your fight star victory, and you were with
Saturday
Katie.
one.
Yeah, and it was you with
Yeah,
Katie
yeah, yeah,
up at,
yeah,
and you said
yeah.
in it, you said, look, I've got a bird, I've got someone ringing me up every day. I don't drink that much. I don't, you know, I don't eat bad. I might smoke a bit of the ganja to sort me out, but I'm fully focused to the game, and that's what sort of differentiates you from a lot of the other fighters who are, you know, 19, 20, still coming up. They still try and live the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you
A lot of
can't.
people, a lot of people like to say
I'm
they're
gonna
fighters.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I smoke an obscene amount of weed, an obscene amount of weed. And Jimmy was just saying to me just now, like, you can't smoke that. At least he said 6 weeks before a fight. I was vaping it, you know, like to the fight. Like the point I'm trying to make is like I've still got a lot of improvements myself to make. Um, like seeing Hamza today, the way he trains, like he does, as I said, you know, he sprints. But even after that, just when you think like enough is enough, he's going in the mirror, just shadow boxing, shadow sparring in the mirror, and then he's going on the treadmill again just to have a warm down, and then he goes back, eats some food, has a rest, has a sleep, comes back, and he's rest. It's like this guy is a machine. It's like it's a reality check. If if you want to be the best, you got it's hard work. You can't, the middle's hard work. People try and dot around it, but the reality is, man, if you want to go anywhere, you got to do hard work, yeah, man.
It's true, and like look at the Khabib. I obviously due to religion as well, but just his upbringing. I don't even think if religion came into it, his upbringing would still be very much the same. And people can now start throwing shit at people like Connor and that. Look, Connor's earned what he's got. He really has. He's really brought himself to a position where he can do what he wants. But then you still got to look at Khabib.
McGregor. Big up.
Big up. I've mate, always love for him. But at the same time, you still got to look at Khabib. Yeah, I remember you saying that in an interview. I remember you saying that. But at the same time, still look at how Khabib does it, man.
If I have two boys, touch wood, I have two boys. It's going to be Connor and Jimmy. That's the two names. Picked. Done.
Connor Currie, Jimmy Currie. That works.
Exactly. You see. My guy. You see, it's like the two most influential people in my life, Conor McGregor. It got me to the gym, and then Jimmy took me to the next level. So that's literally like how it is, man.
No, mate, complete. All love to Jimmy. He's a true star. I saw it, when you recently won at UCMMA. Yeah, he is. I can see that, man. I can tell. I can see him just when he talks and stuff. I remember Bisping saying about him, just he's got this persona of an absolute killer, which he is. But when you just talk to him, he's just a genuinely great dad, great person. Just loves to help people, and you can see it.
Sounds like I'm arse flicking him, doesn't it? It sounds like I'm arse flicking him, but
when everyone's saying it about him,
I think he's awesome, mate. I think he is a BMF. Like he's in that line of fighter like Nate Diaz, Masvidal, kill or be killed. You can't deny it. It's not just that I'm like mates with him and stuff. Like I don't even feel like it's a mate relationship. Like, of course we're friendly and we talk and stuff, but I see him more of like just like a role model. Like I see him as like a big brother. Like I see him as someone who, he's handed me down a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. I mean, man, I've only been training for 4 years, Dom. Like literally 4 years. A lot of guys, when they start MMA, they go down to like the local MMA gym. Let's say you're living in Slough. You go down to the local MMA gym and it's shit. The guy is some average guy coaching, and they assume because they have no combat experience whatsoever, this guy is the guy and he's really good because he beats up everyone in the gym and he's a big fish in a tiny pond, and they start to believe, and then next thing you know, you get trapped into all that loyalty bullshit where it's their way of being able to control you and not allow you to progress as a fighter because it's just them trying to worry about their pocket. And I see a lot of guys, they just end up, it's not that they're not good enough or they didn't have it, it's just they weren't lucky. I was very lucky. The gym that I went to on my first day when I knew fuck all about fighting just so happened to be the gym which had a top 10 UFC fighter and someone who knew what the fuck he was doing. So I was instantly, straight from the bell, I had like the education you needed, especially from a guy who started the sport at 28. God knows what would have happened if that guy started at the same age as me, 16, with the same sort of training that I've had. If he started at 16 with the same sort of training that I had, with the mentality that he has and that ruthless, just the way and just these good genetics, I reckon he would have been like a UFC GOAT. I mean, he started at 28,
Yeah, that's it, mate.
He ended up at rank 3.
And he came up fresh and he just absolutely obliterated it. I got to ask, mate, you got first-hand knowledge. His post about him and David Haye, what's going on there?
I think he's going to come back, I think he'll have another fight. He's pissed off. I mean, obviously sparring is sparring and fighting is fighting. It's two completely different things. But he was beating the shit out of Rakic in the gym. He was destroying Rakic in the gym, and he went into that fight like that's not me talking rubbish. That was them. They had sparring at Allstars. They literally the gym across the road. They were sparring there, and Jimmy was beating him, in the spars pretty bad. Like Andreas would be like, slow down on the power here. But he went in. It's the same as Vulcan. It's the same sort of mistake. He went in, and obviously I'm not trying to take it away from those guys, Rakic and Uzdemir. But he went in both of those times. You know, he was gonna have the Cormier or Jones fight, but he ended up saying, "No, I'll fight Volkan because I just beat Volkan."
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't underestimate anyone in this. You just can't. It's a fight. Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. And you know, he's not happy with the way that last one ended. He just didn't feel that was him giving it. It's just not him giving himself justice. Like, he knows about having his right hand up. He knows this. It's just, he wants to come back. David Haye fight, why not? Be a fun one. I don't think it will happen, simply because David Haye, you know, he's lost it two times to Tony Bellew. I mean, that was bad enough for his legacy. Imagine having, and he's not the same fight. If David Haye was in his prime, he'd beat Jimmy, of course, obviously, absolutely. We're looking at an injured lion here, a very, very injured lion, a one that's had many, many injuries now. They've added up, and David is literally, you know, he's. I like David, by the way. He was like
I'm a fan.
He was like one of my first. No, he was my first sort of combat hero growing up watching. Like, you know, David Haye when he fought Valuev and he overcame that guy. When my brother went to watch him fight Monty Barrett, and Monty Barrett fell over on the ring when he tried to jump in, and you know, when he beat Mark Mormec in France. That's how you take a world title. You go to their back garden. You know, I like David. I'm a big fan of David. I've always been I like his style, but you know, he's not the same anymore. And that is actually a very interesting fight because Jimmy's hands are nice. Like, they're lethal. If Jimmy was just to be a boxer, I reckon he would have done probably even better than he did in MMA. Like, he's just what he is. His best thing is his boxing. Everyone knows that. His hands are nasty, and he's got filthy power. So it'd be exciting regardless, because you know this guy is past his prime. Jimmy's got power. Okay, David's got power, but not like he had. Like, nowhere near like he had. Like, you got to understand these injuries. Like, his Achilles. Have you seen that picture?
Yeah, no, I have.
Fuck, man. Like,
but he's not. The last person he knocked out was Chisora, and then before that it was okay.
2012.
Well, I'm saying he knocked out. Okay, he knocked out people after that, but those were like getting him back into fighting.
The YouTuber, the YouTube boxer, the guy who learned to box off YouTube.
Yeah, something like that.
Those don't count.
It was on Dave, wasn't it? Exactly. So his last two.
I like David, but those guys were just fucking dosses,
man. Getting him in shape. They were just getting him in shape to get his buzz back, so he could fight someone big. Yeah, and that's fair enough. But his last.
I'm not even hating on it. I'm not even hating on it. Like, that's, you got to do what you got to do, man.
He's a businessman. I imagine Dave paid him a lot of money to do that. So why the fuck not?
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
But regardless, they weren't proper.
No, the significant knockouts were Chisora and Audley Harrison.
Caliber, you know?
Yeah, Audley Harrison, Derek Chisora were his last, proper knockouts, and he had some war since then. Had some injuries, like you say, his shoulder was issues. They say he was going to fight. It's unfortunate, but that will be a very interesting fight. If Jimmy's to come back, would it only be UFC? Would he be open to other things? I'm not sure, obviously, what his contract situation is like after retirement.
To Jimmy, UFC's Premier League, he wouldn't do anything less. I don't think he would. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he would. I mean, Jimmy just loves the UFC. It is where the best go. I'm not, again, what I said previous in this Skype call. Like, obviously, there's a lot of talent around the world that people are not aware of. I mean, I can beat a lot of guys in the UFC. Again, people would think that's bullshit or maybe whatever, but we'll find out, won't we? So, it's like everyone assumes that the UFC, but the reason why is because it's got 14.4 million or something. I don't know, maybe it's more. Probably is more. I think it's overtaking the NFL now. Like, it's got huge Instagram following. Yeah. It's got all these massive stars. Meanwhile, you've got like Gegard, Mousasi, Lovato, and Bellator. You've got in ONE FC. I mean, Alvarez is the best example I can give. Alvarez was the world champion in the UFC. He's gone to ONE FC and he's lost twice. Has he lost twice?
No, he was losing that round. Then he pulled off a submission. Battered, wasn't he? But then he managed to pull off a submission. But I know what you mean. He was getting dominated.
You get what I'm saying, though. The first one, he
Yeah.
definitely lost, didn't
Oh
it?
yeah, busted his eye bad.
It's again, I like Eddie Alvarez. Not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just using that as an example here. Like, I don't even know the guy who beat Eddie Alvarez. I don't
No.
even know his name. That's the point I'm trying to make here. This is not even like this is a fucking reality show, Dom. This is just a reality show. It's just about who's got the most interest and who gets the most. I mean, look at Darren Till. Darren Till is like average.
Yeah, I remember you saying it in our first ever interview before
Average.
everything.
If he fought Hamza, I would beat Darren Till. I mean, look, I've met Darren. I've scaled him up size. I'm a lot bigger. My stand up's decent. His stand up's obviously good, but his chin is in the air. I'm longer. I've got the reach. He's used to fighting guys where he's got the reach. He wouldn't have that against me. But fuck that. I'll just take him down and maul him. He's got no grappling. He got darsed by Tyron. Like, honestly, like, look, the way he got submitted by Tyron, like, I've got better jiu-jitsu than Tyron Woodley. Again, all of this talk that I'm talking right now will be proven. It will be proven. You'll see. You will all see. I'm not talking shit. I know what I know. I know how hard I train. That's why I have the right to be able to speak like this. You know, if I took Darren down, I mean, I could strike with him, but what's the point? I just take him down. If I took him down, that fight's just done. I'm bigger than him. I'm a big middleweight. Like, I'm a big guy for a middleweight. He should be a welterweight. He needs to find a nutritionist. He needs to stop eating all that shit food. He needs to stop stealing taxis, and he needs to fight at welterweight. Because if he comes up to middleweight, I mean, Gastelum, everyone, that's stylistically the best fight they could have given him. A striker who's going to stand up with him, who's a former welterweight, who's 5'9". They look after Darren. He lost the Wonder Boy in Liverpool. He got outpointed, but okay, he won because he's the hometown. But listen, Darren is an example of how powerful the UFC media machine is. He beats a Cowboy Cerrone. He's much smaller than him. Catapults into fame because he talks loads of shit, and fair enough, good for him. Like, again, I've not got an issue. I mean, I don't really like him. I remember seeing when he said, like, he doesn't care about his kid, or he doesn't care about his girlfriend. It's irrelevant. All he cares about is MMA. Like, I remember when he said, like, he doesn't care about his kids. He just cares about. I remember, like, it's always family first, son. Always
Mm.
family first, no matter what. If I was put a gun to my head, it was like your parents are gonna die, and if you don't stop MMA, I'm stopping MMA right now.
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's family first always. I think people sometimes lose. Maybe that was just in talking. I don't know. Because again, as I said, this is all a pantomime. This is all like, look at Kobe Covington. The UFC tell him, we're going to release you. You're not interesting enough. Next thing you know, Kobe Covington comes out and becomes this supervillain.
Yeah.
That's not the real Kobe. Do you think Kobe Covington would be friends with Jorge Masvidal the way they were if that's how he acted? That's
Nah.
not how
And
he acted.
hey,
And
there's
that's why
videos
I
out there.
find Kobe funny, because I
Yeah.
know what he's doing, and everyone gets all bitey about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Kobe's this. Guys, are you fucking stupid? Can you not see what he's doing? Why are you getting all emotional when it's so obvious that this guy isn't being genuine? He's just literally saying what he can to make sure he can stay in the organization. The UFC is a great organization, but they care about the paper. They care about bread. They want to see
Yeah.
money. Money talks. I mean, that's why DC was not fighting Stipe, who deserved the fight, and he ends up having what was it? Brock Lesnar. He wanted to fight. Why the fuck does Brock Lesnar get the fight for the world title? The guy was juiced to the gills. He's been juiced to the gills for a long time now.
Yeah.
he fought Mark Hunt, wins the decision. Mark Hunt again past his prime, beats him, gets the decision, ends up being no contest because he tested positive, and now there's talks about him fighting DC. Meanwhile, Stipe's got the most title defenses in UFC heavyweight. It's disgusting, but again, I understand it. I'm not hating on
Yeah.
DC. Make your money, I get it, sure, but in terms of like the sport, it's terrible, isn't it? Because it's like people are more interested in seeing just the press conference more than
Yeah.
they are interested in seeing the actual fight. I want to see the fight. I want to see Jones versus DC. I want to see the best against the best, and of course, they should get paid a lot more than they do. I'm not denying that. So that's why I don't blame DC for wanting to fight Brock, if I was in his shoes, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have
Big,
tried.
big
It's not,
paycheck,
that
easy
doesn't mean
fight.
it's right though. Doesn't
No.
mean it's right, and that just shows you though how much of a pantomime it is. Hamza Shemev, this guy. Okay, fair enough. He's only 5-0, but this guy. I mean, it's this guy is a real. This guy is a savage, fucking savage, like disgusting. How good this guy is. And no one knows about him. No one knows. Like, he's got like 15K on Insta. Meanwhile, Darren Till has got like, I don't know, like, what is it, like 600, 700? I don't know. But if they were to have a fight, he would just take him down and just beat the shit out of him. Like, I don't know. Like, it is the way it is, the way of the world, I guess. People don't, because the majority of people don't actually know what's a good fighter.
Yeah.
They don't. You see a lot of these MMA shows. They give them like a shit fighter to fight against to just make them look good. And to be honest, a lot of these MMA shows are just a big con. I'll name a few, but what's the point? There's no need to make enemies. I mean, like, it's embarrassing. They put. I've had one. I had one. My second amateur fight. I fought a guy called Jack Scott. He's now changed his name to Tom Stone. He's that much of a bum. That much of a journeyman. He now changes his name to fight other people. The sport is dirty and it's dodgy, and that's the reason why. It's like that, because it's like pullouts are killing amateur MMA. It's killing the growth of the sport. But at the same time, I get it. You're having a fight against someone where you're earning no money, and you're thinking to yourself, "Why do I want to get damaged?" Well, do what I did. Get really good first. Source all the best training you can find, and then fight against people, and then make decent people look shit. Like Batamag, that's an African Sambo champion. 3 times.
I remember you posting it on your story. You were like, "Don't fucking tell me I
everyone
don't
was
do it."
going to me before that fight, Dom. Everyone was going to me before that fight. Don't take it. It's too early. You're only 20. You've only been training for like three and 3/4 years. Like, why are you fighting that? And I just said, you know what? It's offered. I haven't fought anyone at that level yet at pro. I'll prove something. And I ended up just completely, all due respect, but I dominated the fight from start to finish. Like,
Yeah, man, I saw it. I was there.
And that's the thing, man. It's like, I've had, again, Kasemi, the guy I fought last one, very, very strong, very, very strong, very powerful. I got him early on the feet, but a decent striker. But I got him early, very, very early. I caught him. That was the whole plan. Crawl out to the side as a southpaw, keep my foot on the outside of his leg, which means I just have the perfect like twist for that head kick, just right on him. And I knew I had the reach as well, so I was waiting for him to come into me, and then I threw the head kick, circled out, boom, stepped out, and then boom, the other head kick.
Yeah, and then you stumbled at one point, turned it into a takedown, though, didn't you?
Oh man, thank you for plugging that.
That was quality.
That was one of my finer moments. I mean, it was a bad moment, I guess, in terms of I've never hurt someone like that in an MMA fight, so I should have actually, started measuring him up with my lead hand and started. But I saw him hurt, and I just, it was a learning curve. Next time you'll see if I ever hurt someone. When I next hurt someone, I'm not gonna rush in next time. I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna measure them up. I'm gonna start feeding them out, and then I just rushed. And I slipped the mat. Yeah, I'll be honest, UC MMA, man. They need to sort those mats out, because those mats are slippy. I slipped throwing a head kick just before the fight started, waiting for him to walk out. I slipped throwing a head kick in the cage, right on my bum. Very embarrassing. I was like, I have to win this fight now. The mats are very, very slippy. Again, I should have measured him up, but the mats, they need to sort that, because it's not actually like a canvas. It's got advertisements on it.
So it slips. Well, my guy Jack Collins, he fought on the same that night, and he literally started the first bell with a flying knee, and you saw how he landed. It looked like he managed to pull off a submission. He won in like 35 seconds, but you could see there was a slight slip. It was touchy. Are you defending that belt, or are you just going around organisation collecting belts?
I mean, I've had 4 fights in 5 months now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do what Jimmy says. If Jimmy says go, I'll go. But yeah, as I said, if Jimmy says go, I'll go. But at the moment, I'm just focusing on going to another level, trying to learn. Like, the wrestling out here is crazy out here.
Yeah.
So I was like, they've got, and we don't have that. I wish we had that in the UK. I wish we had that me just put the phone on charge. Just getting a bit
Yeah,
low.
go ahead,
I wish we had that wrestling in the UK, mate. Because if we had that wrestling in the UK, I'd be even more complete. But we don't quite have it. I mean, Brad Pickett, he's probably the best MMA. Because wrestling and MMA wrestling are two complete different things.
Oh, absolutely.
You got wrestling where you start in that sort of pose, but you can't do that in an MMA fight. You have to start. You know, GSP is the best MMA wrestler I've ever seen. But yeah, as I said, Brad's a fantastic MMA wrestler. You see that against when he beat Demetrius Johnson. Like, his wrestling is very, very good, and he's shown me a lot of things. But yeah, on the whole, like, the wrestling here is another level. But stand up and jiu-jitsu, I have the best. Like, I just have the best. And yeah, like, yeah. What was the question again?
So, are you going to look to go around?
Yeah. So, I'm gonna again, as I said, talk to Jimmy. We'll see what happens, but there are lots of options which are always good. So we've got a lot of options now, and I don't have to rush. I'm only 20, you know.
That's
I'm only
it, mate.
20. I mean, listen. In the end of the day, I'm always training. Don't think I'm ever slacking, taking months out. Like, I'm always on it every day on it. Don't get me wrong. Seeing Hamza, seeing the way he trains, now I'm going to go to another level, because I know that if there's someone like that out there, I can't allow that, you know. So that's going to be mad, because I'm now going to be going another level. If you thought I was training hard before, I'm now going to go to another level of training hard. And also, every year my contacts get better. I get more training partners. You know, I was sparring with Sussy. You know, going out to Henzo, sparred Neiman Gracie. You know, like, I'm starting to get a bit of a sort of list now of you know, different styles that I've gone against. You know, Masasi a striker, Neiman a grappler, jiu-jitsu, and then Hamza a amazing wrestler. You know, Ilya Latifi, I've trained with him, like Jimmy. Like, I can go all day. Like, I've had so many good fighters that I've trained with give me tips and little tricks, and yeah, man, I've been very, very lucky.
And what I respect about you, mate, really do, and I don't mean saying I'm licking your ass here, but what I respect is you're doing all of that, but yet you're still at all your training partners' fight. You're still at Kieran's fights. You're at Ghost fights. You're at Victor. You know what I mean? You're still there. And then I don't know the full ins and outs, but I saw, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, one of the guys from Unity, your fight club, he sustained an injury. I don't know the full details, but I saw you did a post. All of you guys did a post towards him. I don't know what sort of the severity was, but you could potentially be too busy for that shit. But mate, fair play to you. You're still there. You're still grinding. You're still showing everyone that you are a team player as well. You're there to help people. But you know, can you tell us a little bit about that injury? Because it seemed like it was a real bad one.
Oh, he popped the cartilage in his rib.
Jeez.
Right, yeah, just fucking peak. But in the end of the day, man, you know, that's his name, by the way, Haitham Salah.
Yeah.
Titanium. He's a very, very good fighter. He's 21. He trains with Masasi all the time.
Yeah.
He's obviously, you know, he's got the same sort of thing I did with Jimmy. You know, he has a very good training partner, and Cop's gym is savage. Like, their best kickboxing I've ever come across is in Cop's gym, and very, very good fighters. And Haitham Salah, Victor Quicks, and they've all got nicknames. Haitham Salah, Titanium. He's called Titanium because he broke his leg, and he got bolted with titanium in his leg. So it's a part of him. So Titanium, and his name, Salah, I believe, or maybe it's another name that he has. He has a name in his full name. One of them, I can't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. He's probably be a bit annoyed about that because he told me. But one of them means lion. So right now in Unity, I've got a guy designing. You know my profile picture on Instagram.
Yeah, the wolf.
Dragon.
Is it dragon? Sorry.
Mine's a dragon. No. There's loads of them. Wolf is Kieran.
Yes, it is. You're right.
So the dragon is what I'm all about. The image I want to portray when I chose. Well, I didn't choose. I got nicknamed Drago, but I like it and stuff. The image I want to portray is like a destroyer. Like, I just like the dragons from Game of Thrones. They just breathe fire and just fucking decimate everything in their path. I don't really want to fight guys, to be honest. I want to just decimate people. I'm not saying that I'm not going to fight good guys. Of course, I fought an African Sambo champion. I fought Kasemi Kajor. Like, he's hits hard, tough guy, powerful guy. Like, I've fought, and I don't need to fight these guys. I don't have to. I'm 20 years old. If I want to just chill and just train and just work on my skills, I can just do that. But I fight all the time because I just want to keep active and I just want to keep building that record. But the whole point of that whole Drago, it goes with Drago, but the dragon is supposed to be my style is. I'm supposed to decimate, fire breath, destroy everything. Kieran Mesroy, he's the wolf, scrappy, violent, nasty. Wolf just suits Kieran to the ground. His nickname's Relentless because he's always trying. He never quits. Cardio is very, very good.
Yeah.
Victor Quicks, his one is the gorilla. He literally lives like a gorilla. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched. He goes on about the silverback, like you're born the silverback. Like he knows so much about gorillas, and he lives like a gorilla as well. The way he lives, and
he's very philosophical. That I've seen him on your story. He likes to go off and give a very deep, meaning chat at times. I like that as well.
But yeah, Victor Quicks, like he's the gorilla. Then you got Haitham Salah. In his name means lion, but also Haitham is someone who he hasn't fought yet, but he's one of those weird ones. He's got mad skill, like me and him. He's very good, very, very good.
Yeah.
He's not even had a fight yet, but for an amateur, that's going to be the maddest amateur debut you've ever seen. Like, if you thought Kieran's amateur debut was good, Haithm's will probably be freak-like because
Mate, Kieran's one was insane as well against Dawood. Very, very good.
For a
So I'm
debut,
looking forward to.
But Haitham, he can heel hook you. As I said, he trains with spars Masasi all the time, but he hasn't fought yet. It's weird. Because he's had all these little injuries and pullouts and all that stuff. But Haitham will be fighting soon, and you'll see this guy is a killer from Egyptian, and again he's the Egyptian Muslim in that group. He's the Muslim, so he can get us those crazy Habib fans, hopefully. Then you've got Dennis Layton. He's a super talent. He's 16. He just had his amateur debut. He was.
How did he do? Yeah, I saw he was on the AFS. How did he actually do? I didn't see his result.
No, Dennis was on Fusion.
Oh, sorry. Oh, what? Same as Jay. Sorry, yeah, because I was on the same night.
I couldn't make that because I was cornering Kieran and
other
reasons and stuff. But anyway, Dennis, he won that. His fights. He's had his amateur debut. He's 16. He's Russian, and we call him the Hitman. He's got that sort of silent, sort of, he's going to kill you sort of look. But he's a beast. He's a super talent. He can go a long way if he chooses to. Then you have Stefano, the Ghost. He won. So big up Stefano. Brilliant performance. He'll be getting the title shot on Fightstar in December.
Well, December 14. Yeah. Do I want to know why I call him Ghost? Is he living that power lifestyle?
His one is like he literally doesn't speak.
I've had chats with him, but I know what he means.
When you had that interview with him?
Yeah.
Very, very minimal talk. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't. You see me, I waffle on and I talk and I speak and I talk and I don't say I waffle, but maybe a little bit.
But you got some stuff to say. So is Mez.
I've got stuff to say.
But
Stefano. Obviously, listen. I've been rude to Stefano. I've said things to Stefano which I shouldn't have said. Yeah. He doesn't react. He's a ghost. He doesn't give a shit. And that's the reason why I've said those things, because he just doesn't react. He's like a stress ball that I can, in the show Afterlife. Have you seen?
Yeah,
Afterlife? When David Brent is like being an arsehole to that guy who's in the workplace with him, the guy just hates it.
The faggot,
But Stefano, he just doesn't give a shit. And one of the reasons why is he left my car unlocked, and a load of shit got stolen out my car. So I was angry, but he wasn't, he was a bit high, and he was, he's dopey as it is. So. Yeah. But he's not dopey when he fights. He's a savage when he fights. Brilliant. You can see he's learned a lot of wrestling since that Campanella fight. Since he fought that tough guy Campanella who out wrestled him.
Well, Campanella was coming down in weight as well, wasn't he? He was but then he came up against Noah, and Noah's people could probably look at Noah Mannion's record and think, oh, that's not great, but he's a good fighter.
I didn't let Kieran fight Noah because I was like, look, if Stefano had a war with Noah Mannion, and Kieran's, smaller than Stefano, and he's not fought as long. I was like, I'm not going to put him in with Noah yet. We don't need to rush. We'll fight these guys when we need to fight them. But yeah, Noah Mannion, he's a good fighter, that guy.
That's why I was buzzing for that fight, because I was like, the boys from Unity's got Unity and New Wave, and New Wave have got some good fighters, and Unity got some good fighters. It was just a good buzz about that, and you both of them respected each other, but both of them did not. Both of them were willing to put it out there.
I'll finish it off though, then you got Oscar Ferry-Dooney. Oh yeah, as I said though, Stefano Ghost. He's a ghost. As I said, he's no emotion. You could scream at his face. He doesn't give a shit. When you hang around with him, if you meet him for the first time, as I said, go and watch Stefano's interview with you, and you'll just see. You could just see he's someone. When you get to know him, he opens up. But from the first point, he's very reserved. Doesn't really speak much. He's like that. And then you've got Oscar Ferry-Dooney. So obviously with Stefano, by the way, his like profile picture that they're working on is going to be like a ghosty sort of piratey, sort of like Pirates of the Caribbean ghosty sort of look about it. So that's what he's going to have. And then you got Oscar Ferry-Dooney. His nickname is the Prince of Persia. His dad sadly passed away, and his dad had Persian roots.
Yeah.
So to commemorate his father, we called him the Prince of Persia, and it's a pretty cool nickname, isn't it?
Yeah, and he looks like a prince as well. Good fighter. I caught his fight. Obviously, I was there when he fought Joe Montague. Yeah, Montague just had a better ground, but Oscar's kicks, punches. He's a good stand-up guy.
I tell you what, with that was since then Oscar has been working on his jiu-jitsu, and it was kind of inspiring to see how much he's improved. Like, it reminds me of when I went to Roger Gracie, like how much I improved with the jiu-jitsu. Like, he's gone to Gracie Barra. He trains with some very good guys down at that gym. I think Gracie Barra, Fulham or West Kent, either one, they're both very good. And his grappling since that fight with Montague has gone up loads, like a lot. Like, if they were to have that fight again, I believe Oscar would win. But look, Montague won that one, and fair play to him. But again, he wasn't beaten really. The guy held him.
He had a game plan.
It wasn't really like these kind of things. It's like, to me, a loss is when you get fucking knocked out, submitted, or dominated badly for, that's like a real loss. Like, if that was a street fight and they both went home at the end of it, I wouldn't have gone, oh yeah, Oscar got fucked up. I've just gone, Oscar, he got controlled a bit more than the other guy. But so Oscar, he's gonna have an eagle, Persian eagle, and it's got this. I've seen it already. It's already been done. It's got like this crown on it, like Persian crown. Or this guy who makes it, Danny Robin. He makes the craziest art profile, like just the style which he does. I'm a big fan of his. But yeah, Oscar Ferry-Dooney, Prince of Persia. And he's improved a lot. He'll be fighting in December. He's got a fight booked. I don't know who it is against, but I know he's fighting in December. And
Fight Star or?
Fight Star, yeah. I don't think I've left anyone out. Yeah, don't think I've left anyone out. If I have, that is terrible. But Dennis, Heisem, Victor, Kieran, Oscar, myself. Heisem, Victor, Dennis, Kieran, Stefano, myself,
Oscar. Yeah.
All right, so I went through them all. Yeah, man. Yeah. Those are my boys. Those are my homies. Those are my riders. So, they're my guys.
That's quality, mate. Look, man, I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I really do appreciate this. Honestly, this hour has flown by, so I could just chat about.
It's been an hour already.
It's been 55 minutes, man. It's been mad.
Minutes, mate.
On it, I swear to God, it has. I told you, mate. Weekly podcast. When you got UFC Gold, I'm definitely gonna be chasing you for that weekly podcast. But mate, so what's going on next? And so obviously, like you said, these next few months, you're just gonna kind of figure it out. I'm sure you'll be cornering people on Fight Star, but for yourself now, you've also got all these other organisations. I imagine they're going to be calling for you, but are you really going to leave that to Jimmy? Because at the end of the day, like you say, you are only 20 years old. You've got so much ahead of you. You don't want to burn yourself out too quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jimmy knows more. So I'm gonna let him. He's a very street smart guy. He knows his shit. So I'm gonna let him make the decisions and all that kind of stuff. And if he says jump, I'll jump. But yeah, I mean, I'll be ready. Trust me. I'm training with very, very good. In the end of the day, look, it's just simple. I'm training with really good people. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm training with Real Madrid style fighters. Do you know what I mean? Like very good guys. Jonathan Weston, he fought Habib's cousin. I personally believe Jonathan Weston beat that guy. He's a very good fighter again. No one knows
What he fought?
who he is.
Saeed?
He's
Is it
really
Saeed Nurmagomedov?
he fought the welterweight. I can't. I'm not gonna say. He's the cousin. His surname's Nurmagomedov. It's not Umar. That's the younger one.
Saeed?
And he's Abukar. I don't know.
Abu Kaka. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a few of them.
He fought him. I believe Jonathan Weston won that fight, but he's another really good fighter out here that a lot of people don't know. Again, that was on PFL. PFL's got really good fighters. So Gokhan Saki, I saw him today in the gym. You're around so many, intelligent people when it comes to fighting who just know their shit. And when you're around people like that, you just naturally pick it up. And I'm a very lucky kid. I'm very lucky to have my mum and dad support me 110%, and they'll do whatever it takes for me to become the best. So, when you've got support like that, and then you've got people like Jimmy and all them lot, and then, I'm quite well built. I've got some good genetics, and I've got good height, and I think I'm quite a smart guy as well. When it all adds up, it's looking really good. So, yeah, I think the future is going to be good.
I agree, mate. Like I said, I wanted to touch base earlier. I saw it after you won at UCMA. You had your parents, you had Jimmy in the cage, and you could just see like you had raw emotion right there. You just wanted to give out the gratitude, and nothing but respect to you, mate.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Sweet, man. Right. Well, I'll definitely be seeing you December 14, but hopefully I'll see you before and we'll have another catch up. But mate, we'll enjoy the rest of the time in Sweden, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, bud.
Nice one, Dom. Speak soon.
Cheers, man. Bye.